This is Walt Disney World Today. Give us 5 minutes and we'll give you the world.
It's Wednesday, April 19th, 2006, and this is episode number 89 of Walt Disney World Today. I'm Matt Hodgkin from MGMstudios.org. On the show today, we have Mike Newell of MouseWorldRadio.com, 1, 2, 3, and Ocho. Welcome, Mike.
Buenos dias, Senor Matt.
ESPN 8, the Ocho.
And we also have Len Testo, the co-author of the unofficial guide to Walt Disney World. Welcome, Len.
How's it going, Matt?
Outstanding.
Outstanding.
Indeed. And we have Mike Scopa of MousePlanet.com. Welcome, Mike.
All right, you pitiful, soft-bellied sad sacks, eyes front and listen up. I'm your commanding officer, General Knowledge, and it's my job to turn you mealy-mouthed meatheads into a crack squadron of cranium commandos.
Very good.
And I don't know what it is, but I've heard that like twice last week on Mouse World Radio when I was, I don't know if it was just the time of day that I tuned in, but I heard it twice. I'm starting to get the whole dialogue down.
Well, it's Wednesday, and that means we're answering your listener questions. So if you have a listener question for us, email us at questions@wdwtoday.com, and we will try to answer them as soon as we can. Our first question comes from Angel Zano of Ada, Michigan, who writes, after listening to the past several episodes, I am now a believer and would like to join the ranks of those happy Mouseketeers that possess an annual pass. Can you pass on any tips on how I could save money buying 2 annual passes, or are there just no discounts or savings available?
There are no savings and discounts available.
Well, unless Michigan? Nope, you're out of luck. I was going to say Florida residents, and aren't there other states that get some sort of discount? Like Georgia or something like that?
I don't believe so. I think the discounts come after you buy the annual pass. I mean, you buy that at full price, and then that's when you begin realizing you need the annual pass to get the discounts later on down the road.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, 2. I don't think they would be discounting 2.
All right.
But still, worth your time. Go ahead.
Dean, otherwise known as Disney Dad Online, from Leesburg, Virginia, has some comments for us. Greetings, Matt, Mike, and Len. I just got back from 9 days at the World with my family, and I'm getting caught up on my podcast listening. I make the rounds on several of them, but yours is by far one of my favorites and one of the most well done. I listened to episode 63 and wanted to say that I thought the idea of including a guest listener on the show, as you did in episode number 64 with Sarah Orrs, was great and very fun to listen to. So we thank Dean for sending in his comment for that show.
Yeah, Sarah was great.
Yeah, we like Sarah, and we also had Mike on. He was last month, and we're getting close to picking our listener of the month for, what month is this? April. So if you'd like to be considered for Listener of the Month, of course, you can apply online. Just go to www.wdwtoday.com/listener, fill out the form, and we will go over it with a fine comb. Nora G. writes, great website. My family, 15 people, are planning to visit Walt Disney World from September 19th through September 24th of 2006, and noticed that the triathlon will be held on September 24th, 2006. Will this event draw large crowds for the days prior?
No, not really. Not nearly the same as for the marathon in January. The triathlon's typically been a much smaller event throughout the years. Actually, I'm thinking about doing the triathlon.
Triathlon is running, swimming, and biking?
That's right. It's if I recall correctly, it's a 1.5 kilometer, which is roughly a mile, like 9/10 of a mile, a 40K bike, and then like a 9 or 10 mile run. It wasn't anything terrible in the running thing. Last couple of years, they did it all around Fort Wilderness, Nora. So the swimming, the biking, everything was all around Fort Wilderness. This year, they said it's throughout the Walt Disney World Resort, but I haven't seen a course map yet. But check the Disney website. If you go to Google and you type in Disney Triathlon, you might see a course map. Last time I checked, which was a couple weeks ago, they had not posted the course map yet. Other than Fort Wilderness, the only other place that I've seen it was starting in the Contemporary, swimming through Bay Lake, and then heading off property for a huge round trip around like 5:35 in those roads, and then coming back onto property like down World Drive.
Yep.
But it didn't seem to be nearly the traffic impact that the half marathon and marathon are, so I wouldn't worry about it too much at all.
Great. Stephen Johnson writes, guys, in show number 61, you made it sound like the delivery services for groceries are outrageous. I find the costs of WeGoShip.com, that's W-E-G-O shop.com, I'll have a link in the show notes, to be very reasonable, and it avoids having to get a rental car. I know a rental car is a debatable topic, but those that do not want one, WeGoShop is a great alternative. They shop local grocers and personally deliver to you at the resorts. He gives the delivery rates. It's never been. He goes on to give the delivery rates. Groceries up to $100. It's $17 and delivery fee. Between $100 and $200, it's $22 and delivery fee. My problem with it is just the fact that I don't think. I mean, spending $100 on groceries, you'd have to probably be staying there at least a week, I would say, or be feeding the Army of the Potomac to borrow a line from the
I've heard that line before.
Yeah, no, it's totally ripped off from the unofficial guide. It just doesn't. I mean, I think most people are looking to buy groceries somewhere in the $20 to $50 range, and if you combine the prices of the groceries are fine, but it's the surcharges and delivery fees that I've found to be not in cases. Now, if you're going to be, I mean. Stephen goes on, to give us how much it's going to cost, to deliver groceries, between $100, $200, $300. I think that's way over what most people are going to be doing. But certainly, you can check it out. It's an option.
Matt, what's the delivery fee? It's $17 plus the delivery fee for $100?
That's right.
What's the delivery fee?
He doesn't specify what it is. So, I don't know. I mean, it could be small, but it could be large. But the fact that you're spending, $17, let's say it's $3, which is not going to be, it's probably more than that. But that's $20 just to round it off. I mean, if you're only spending $20, there's no sense in doubling what you're paying for, and only getting $20 worth of groceries. Does that make sense? That's my contention. I could be wrong. Certainly if you've had luck with online shopping and it's been a decent value for you, email us in at questions@wdwtoday.com and we'll read it online. Our next question comes from Justin from Louisville, who asks, great show. I love the banter between all of you. I'm trying to narrow down a good time to visit Walt Disney World. I was swayed by the best days at touringplans.com at first, but I wonder if low crowds are really the selling point I'm looking for. If I go during mid-September, I would encounter less crowds, but at the cost of shorter hours, possibly hurricanes, and no planned Disney events. Or is picking a time solely on low crowds a win-win situation? It's a good question, Len.
That's good. That is a good question. Generally, Bob's advice is to go whenever crowds are lowest. He said that, and we actually say this in the book, that the lower crowds will more than make up for the occasional closed attraction or the lack of extra live entertainment or whatever. The parks are still going to, in mid-September, the parks are still going to be open 9, 10, 11 hours a day. You've still got the extra magic hours in the evening. And you've got a crowd level of like a 4 or a 5, which is roughly a 4 is like 35 to 44 minutes peak wait time, which is really not bad at all. I gotta say, September is good. What was the other time, Matt, that you was thinking about going?
The other time it's Justin, actually, not she, but mid-September. It's just mid-September that he was considering.
Sorry about that, Justin. Yeah, I would definitely think mid-September.
Boy, I just delay it 3 more. I just delay it 3 more weeks and just try it the first week in October because, well, wait a minute, Food and Wine would Food and Wine be going on?
No, it's more crowded in October. You're looking at, instead of 4s and 5s, you're looking at 5s to 6s and 7s.
Even that first week, Len?
Yeah, in fact, the first week of October is when it starts getting up to be 5s. So you've got, plus you've got Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party on the first week of October, now screwing up the hours of the Magic Kingdom.
I'll tell you, my advice, Justin, is to go during, like the book says, go during the absolute deadest time of the year. I think the ability to really walk on anything and not have to worry about attraction wait times makes up for, no special events in my mind.
Yeah, I really think that mid-September looks good. And again, Justin's concerned about the hurricane season. Hurricanes are unpredictable. And the way Florida's been lately, you might as well just roll the dice and go in September. I don't think playing it 3 more weeks till October is going to get you anything.
Yep.
famous last words. And really, worst case scenario is we call up Scopa and he talks you through the hurricane because he's done it before.
Twice.
That's right, I forgot. Twice. Yes, Justin, mental note. It's a quick note for you. Whenever Scopa's going, don't go.
And Justin, just to ease your mind, I am not going in September. At least I'm not planning on going in September, buddy.
Sarah Parnell writes, I have heard that the Magic Kingdom is going to be decorated this year. Do you know as what, and will it be totally covered like it was during the 25th celebrations? I think maybe Sarah's referring to the current 50th decorations that are going on?
Well, the only decorations is the gold trim on the castle for the Magic Kingdom. Other than that, I have no recollection as to any other special decorations that are going on.
Okay. But those are coming down when the 50th is over, is that?
I believe they're coming down at the end of this year, and the question is what's on the horizon? And the only thing I can think of is that it's Epcot's 25th year celebration, but I'm not sure what's going to happen with that.
Great. Darwin Matthews writes to us, I know you had talked about characters painting on a past show. He sent us a picture of a location that's in the Magic Kingdom behind the Christmas shop in Liberty Square. So thank you, Darwin, for sending that in. Continue on the Beagle 2. That's a terrible Darwin joke right there.
That's why we didn't laugh.
Joke?
That's why we didn't
I
laugh.
caught it, but I didn't want to be associated with it, so I just kept quiet.
All right. Well, Frank from East Brunswick, New Jersey, writes, I haven't been to Disney in over a year, and I recently heard that Downtown Disney has changed their admission policies. It used to be that Pleasure Island was sealed off and that there was an admission price to get in, which then allowed you to access the various bars, drinks extra, of course. Now I heard that you can always go into the various bars and clubs. You have to purchase tickets or something. Can you fill us in with these details? Keep up the good work.
When you want to take it?
You can if you want to. The only thing I know is that they're not really charging you to get into the into all of Pleasure Island. You can walk around Pleasure Island itself now, and it's totally free. It's when you want to go into the nightclubs
Right.
that it costs money. Now, Mike, I think there are two options, right? If you want to go into one club, there's
they give you a wristband. I believe you buy a wristband. Is that what it? I
and I
haven't
think
done it in about 2 years.
It's like $9, Frank, to get into like your first nightclub, or it was like $20-some to get into if you want to get into all the nightclubs. My guess is, given the current state of Pleasure Island clubs, you'll go to one, and that'll be it. You don't have to pay, by the way, to go and get into Raglan Road. I don't know if you've heard our reviews of Raglan Road. It's superlative. My advice is, my opinion is, it's probably the best entertainment value on Pleasure Island. They've got live music after 9 p.m. It's live Irish music. Food's really, really good. It's always packed. Definitely get reservations. Singing. They've got girls dancing on bars. And when I say that, think Riverdance, not Motley Crue video. And it's just a great time. I really think Raglan Road's better than any Disney club, maybe with the exception of the Adventurers Club on a good night. And it doesn't cost any money other than the food and the drink that you have.
I'll definitely second that.
Yeah.
Frank's next question actually is another one, and that's probably for Mike Newell. Frank, again, hasn't been in the Magic Kingdom over a year, but he writes, I was curious about the music during the fireworks display at the Magic Kingdom. I remember that during the display, a couple of times, a bright white firework simulating a shooting star went flying across the park as a child was singing in the song. Can you tell me what the song was?
That would be Wishes, if I'm correct. That's
the name of the little girl is Chastity Ferris.
Really?
You guys scare me. That's
her name.
Wow. Yeah.
Chastity Ferris.
Scope a little bit more, but
Yeah, especially I didn't tell these guys the questions beforehand, so that's really scary.
No, yeah, it is scary.
Ben from Springfield, Ohio writes, 2 families of 4 with kids ages 8 to 13 are planning a 10-day trip to Disney in early June and have booked a teacher rate at the Dolphin. We selected it primarily because of the location. What do you think of the Dolphin? Also, is it reasonable to expect that we will be able to eat at MGM and Epcot for several lunches or dinners because they are so close by?
I like the Dolphin. At the rate that you got, it's probably the best accommodations you can find at that rate. I think Matt, you'll have to tell me about the studios. Epcot's going to be a little bit of a walk, but you'll get to International Gateway. It won't be terrible. If you've got strollers, wait, how old are the kids? 8 and 13?
Yeah, 8 to 13. So it looks like
8 to 13. The kids will be fine. Never mind. Yeah, you should be fine, Ben. Just allow 20 or 30 minutes to get through the International Gateway. Now, Matt, how far are the studios from the Dolphin?
Dolphin's the closest resort. It's closer than the boardwalk, I think, to the studios, walking wise.
Yeah.
It might be equidistant. They're on opposite ends of the lagoon, so it's hard to measure distance. But certainly, it's closer. The studios are closer to the Dolphin than the Dolphin is to Epcot. You can take the boat, of course, if you don't like walking.
But how far is that? I mean, I can tell you it takes about 4 or 5 minutes to run it, but I don't know how.
I would say it's about a 5 to 10 minute walk, depending on how you walk.
Then I'm running slow.
I don't think it's that much of a walk. There's nothing to see, so nothing distracts you. So you're just, moving away. Jim from California writes, I am planning a Walt Disney World custom wedding in January of 2007 and was planning for an Illumination dessert party on the evening of the reception.
Wow.
For a dessert party, Disney only offers the sites at the Italy and United Kingdom, either upper or lower terrace pavilions. Among these three, which would provide the best view of the show in your opinion?
I didn't get my
Was it
invitation yet.
Wait, it was UK, Italy?
Both options for the UK and Italy.
And for the UK, it was the upper and lower pavilion?
Either one, yeah. So that it's you got to specify if you choose the UK, upper or lower.
Okay, I don't think it's Italy, right? No one thinks it's Italy, right?
I agree.
I wasn't impressed by Italy. Oh.
So it's the UK. Now the UK lower one, that's if you're facing the Rose and Crown, the lower one is to your left, closer to World Show to Future World.
Yes, I think so because the upper one is closer to France, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Good. That's a good question.
Oh man, I would tend to go with the one closer to Future World because I think there'd be a better view of the video globe.
I would go opposite because I think there's less foliage in the way on the upper one.
Well, don't forget though, he's waterfront.
That's true.
Yeah, when I think of the other one, I think of it's similar to like if you ever go on Illuminations cruise. I wasn't impressed with the Illuminations cruise, so I'm thinking I want to be further. I want to be closer to Future World.
Yeah, I think Jim would be better off going on the lower end too. And the other reason for that too is generally the prevailing winds in World Showcase sort of head towards Morocco, but if they're off a little bit and they head towards France, you'll be a little bit closer to smoke and whatnot from the fireworks if you're in the upper part of the United Kingdom. Something in the lower part, the winds would have to be really, really off for you to be affected by those. I'm thinking lower. Is there a cost difference, I wonder?
It's just the options.
They're all the same, Jim. I would definitely do that. I would go lower.
And as Mike Newell pointed out earlier in the question, we're still waiting for our invitations.
Yeah, do we have a PO box we can give Jim for the invitations?
Yeah. Just
In January. Wait, he said in January?
January 2007.
If he's doing it around the marathon or half marathon time, I think Scopo and I would be happy to
We'll be
pop in
there.
and say hi.
Yeah.
Great. Well, that's it for us today. This has been episode number 89 of Walt Disney World Today. If you want to find older episodes, read our show notes, or send us your comments, visit the Walt Disney World Today website at www.wdwtoday.com. You can also email us at questions@wdwtoday.com. For Len Testa, Mike Scopa, and Mike Newell, I'm Matt Hochberg. We'll see you on the next show.